So if your hair suddenly feels like it's aging you, I can tell you it's not your hair. It's the way it's being cared for, the way it's being cut, and it's the way that it's being styled. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you the top 5 biggest mistakes that I see mature women make and what you can do to fix them. What you can do to add some more lift instead of dragging your face down. So if that interests you, continue watching. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kathleen and I create content for mature women around skincare, hair care, makeup, and lifestyle. So if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing. As we mature, our hair changes, our texture changes, the way that it used to style changes, and the density of it changes. So what used to work does not always work anymore. And in today's video, I'm gonna share with you what some of those common mistakes are and what we can do to fix it. These are simple shifts, but they will make a huge difference. So mistake number 1 is flat roots. I can see this one all the time happens. And what's gonna happen if your hair is laying flat to your head like this? Can you see the difference between me just pulling my hair down like that, right? You see how big my forehead looks, and it doesn't do anything. It just makes my face look shorter and squattier. But yet if I get some lift up here, right, by using like a root lifter or some fiber powders or just the way that I blow dry it, like that just gives my face more lifted, youthful look. So blow drying techniques really help with this, but as well as Velcro rollers. If you just throw a few of those on the top, you'll see a huge difference in how much lift and volume you'll get at the root. It's not about a big teased, lifted up look where it's straight up. It's more about just strategically placing some lift where we need it. So mistake number 2 is using too much product. And what happens if you're gonna use too much product? Number 1, it's just gonna weigh the hair down. It's gonna be way too heavy. Plus, it's just gonna build up product on your scalp and it's gonna clog the follicles on your scalp. So you don't wanna go in there with way too much product, especially at the root area. So again, it's more about being strategic and thinking about where you need this product, as opposed to just going in there with a lot of product and hoping that your hair is gonna style the right way. So mistake number 3 is the wrong haircut. So sometimes it can be too blunt, right? And it just looks too heavy. Other times it can be too overly texturized and thin and too many layers, and it just looks very sparse and it just will separate everywhere. And then another mistake I see is it just being overly bulky, like it's just looking way too much hair and it's just gonna overpower you. So you wanna go in there, you really wanna think about movement in the hair, and you really wanna think about having it look light and airy and texturized as opposed to looking too heavy and hard looking. So soft face framing layers, that will really help. And a shape that follows your bone structure. So it's not about cutting it shorter, it's about cutting it smarter. Mistake number 4 that I see women making is going back to their natural hair color and making it way too dark. So what happens then, and it's just gonna look flat and heavy and hard. So you can even go back to your natural color, but you should add a little bit of highlights in there, right? Going in there and just strategically placing highlights, especially around the front of your face, so that it lightens and lifts your face as opposed to making it look too heavy and too tired looking. And when it's that flat looking with harsh colors, it just makes every fine line and wrinkle pop out even more. So we want to go in there and put some texture in the hair and add some layering with some color. So if you have gray hair and you're looking to let your gray hair grow out, that's a great idea. But think about having some gray blending done to it. And that's just really going in there and blending in maybe some darker and some gray colors in there, right, with bleach and color, just so it looks better placed and it really enhances your face as opposed to looking too heavy and too harsh looking. Another common mistake I see women making is over-styled hair, making it too perfect, making it too sprayed, too perfect looking, too styled, too heavy, too curled, anything like that, short and curly. We want it to feel and look as most like hair as possible. So even if your hair is finer, if you go in there and do the proper blowout technique and using the proper products, you will get some soft movement into the hair so that it doesn't look perfect, but maybe more effortless looking, so it has more movement to it. Use, like, if you're gonna go in and curl it, just brush out the curls and make them looser. Let some imperfections stay. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. So you want the hair to move. You don't want it to sit there like a helmet on your head. So if you take anything from this video, let it be that. So it's not about doing more, it's about doing the right thing in the right places on your hair. And nowadays it makes it a little bit easier because you can go onto ChatGPT, and that's ChatGPT. Go in there, take a picture of yourself and ask Chat what would be the most suitable haircut and color for your skin tone and your face. And see if that will come back and help you out. And then you can have a discussion with your hairdresser about some of these options. And if you're nervous, just do it very gradual. You don't have to jump right in and say you have long hair and it's telling you to get a shorter haircut. Do it over time, so where you're not drastically changing overnight. Keep it simple, keep it fun, don't overcomplicate it. You also want to think about some things like maintenance. So if you decide you're gonna bleach your hair out, do you really want to bleach your hair out? You know, because you're gonna be in the salon every 3 weeks getting your roots touched up. If you want to just put some baby highlights in, that's a little bit less maintenance, that you can talk to your stylist about that. If you feel like your color is too harsh, talk to her about lightening up a little bit. Or if it's too light, talk about going in there and putting some low lights in there, just to kind of add some dimension to the hair. The right placement, the right products, and being a little bit more intentional about what you're doing with your hair will make a huge difference. So this is not about being younger, this is about being the best version of ourselves today. So a lot of these mistakes aren't things that you're doing wrong. These are things that we just need to change because our hair texture has changed and our faces have changed. So just a few of these shifts can make a huge difference, and your hair can start working for you again. So I hope you gained some value from this video. If you did, please consider subscribing, and I will see you in my next video. All right, bye-bye everyone.